All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We want to start this morning by taking a moment just to allow our energy to settle into this virtual environment that we've created with each other. So if you will, please just find a comfortable place in your chair with your feet flat on the floor and a tall, relaxed posture. And you can just let your gaze fall softly to the floor or close your eyes, whichever you prefer. And just take a moment to allow your senses to settle into this environment. Just let your whole being arrive here. Now slowly bring your awareness into your body and begin to notice the path of your breathing. And as you settle into the easy rhythm and flow of your breathing, just let your hips sink a little bit more into your chair and relax your low belly. And release any tension you may be feeling in your shoulders and your neck. Just let your arms get heavy. Relax your jaw and just let your eyes and your forehead soften. Let's take a good, slow, deep breath in through your nose and pause at the top. And as you gently release it, just feel a wave of relaxation flow from the crown of your head all the way to the soles of your feet. And then just notice how easily that next breath comes in perfect rhythm and perfect flow. And now in this space where there's nowhere else to go and nothing else to do, let's just take a moment and rest here. And let's take another good, slow, deep breath in through our nose and pause at the top. And as you exhale, just welcome a little movement back into your body. And just bring your awareness back to the present. And when you're ready, open your eyes. All right. Thank you very much. This morning, we're going to discuss the benefits and application of the first pillar of health, which is respiration. Breath is life. When we're born into this world, the first thing our body does is inhale. And when we leave, our body exhales. So oxygen is our primary nutrient. And as Ford indicated Tuesday, to live, we need oxygen, water, and food in that order. We don't generally think of breathing as a self-care practice, but filling our lungs with oxygen is one of the most nourishing things and balancing things that we can do for ourselves. So utilizing our breath as a self-care practice is convenient and immediately accessible. Our breath is always with us. It's highly effective, as Ford will share with us in just a moment. In so many ways, the quality of our breath impacts the quality of our life. And the best part is It doesn't cost a thing. We don't need a prescription or an app to take a good, deep, nourishing breath. We only need the conscious choice to do so.
So we have about 22,000 respiration cycles per day. And that sounds like a lot. And keep in mind that one cycle is an inhalation, exhalation, one respiration cycle. And the way we look at that is instead of just chugging along and we're breathing, and of course, we don't have to mind the store, which is nice, but we can tap into that. As humans, we can bring conscious awareness to our respiration cycles. So we try to reframe it as opposed to just 22,000 times it's happening. We look at that as 22,000 opportunities to optimize productivity, equanimity, and vitality. And as Rita indicated, it's accessible, it's effective, and it's free. And of course, there's a bunch of different physiological benefits to optimal respiration. We're going to highlight just a couple, three or four. First and foremost, it helps to reset our central nervous system. So the central nervous system is bifurcated or split, and as you work your way down this line, you have parasympathetic and sympathetic tone. Parasympathetic is that rest and digest, ideally the feeling that you had earlier during Rita's facilitated session. Sympathetic is the fight or flight. This may happen if you receive an email from a student or a colleague or a text message from a neighbor or family member that you want to quickly react to as opposed to stepping back and responding to. So a deep, purposeful inhale, especially through the nose, pausing momentarily at the top and slowly exhaling through the mouth, stimulates the vagus nerve. And that's one of the most robust, longest nerves in the body. And once this nerve is stimulated, you see mind, body, body, mind coherence, specifically between brain and heart. So it's a really nice opportunity to keep ourselves calm and centered and focused on the task at hand. It also helps to reoxygenate our entire bloodstream. We know as physiological creatures, we need blood, we need oxygen to ensure that we have the requisite energy. It also helps to detoxify our entire cellular makeup. And we're comprised of trillions with a T cells. It's a lot of cells. Each time we take that purposeful inhale, those cells kind of get massaged. So it's a nice way for us to reframe 22,000 just respiration cycles that are happening automatically to tapping in a little bit more consciously and being able to optimize productivity, equanimity, and vitality. Pausing very quickly, does anyone have any questions on either the accessibility, the effectiveness, how this is free, different types of physiological processes, or anything that we've covered thus far in the respiration unit? And feel free to come off mic or throw it in the chat and we'll answer. All right, if there are no questions, Rita's going to jump into some more specific techniques that are related to optimal respiration.
Yeah, so we'd like to suggest two breathing techniques that you can choose to utilize on a daily basis for your benefit. So the first one is called triangle breathing. And with this practice, the breath cycle mirrors an equilateral triangle. So you breathe in through your nose for a count that's comfortable, and then you hold for the same count, and then you exhale for the same count. So breathe in, hold, and exhale. And this smooth, steady breathing is a great way to start your day because it stabilizes your central nervous system and it allows your internal sun to start to rise. So it's also a go-to practice for you to use throughout the day. I mean, you can use it anytime when you want to refresh and balance your energetic state. The second technique is the 4-7-8 breath, which consists of a 4-count inhale through your nose and a 7-count hold, and then an 8-count exhale through your mouth. And this technique is really good to use when you've been emotionally triggered. Like Ford was saying, you receive an email or a text that kind of pushes a button. In that moment, before it gains momentum, If you can give yourself some space and push back and 7, 8, then the extended exhale, like Ford said, of this breath activates the vagus nerve, which stimulates heart brain coherence, which brings us back to center. And then in that centered space, then that allows us to be able to respond to the situation instead of react. This 4-7-8 breath is also a good practice to help us fall asleep at night because it triggers that relaxation response. And also, if you wake up during the night, you can practice the 4-7-8 breath to calm your system and help you fall back to sleep.
So, because the triangle breathing is so fundamental to optimal respiration, let's go ahead and close our session today just by pushing back from our workstations for a moment and settling back into a nice, comfortable position. If you're in a seated position, that's great. If you're standing at a stand desk, or if you're laying down in your office, that works too. Just allowing yourself to bring that awareness down into that space before we start to practice any sort of respiration technique. And you can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that, or just allow your gaze to fall softly on the floor in front of you. And in doing so, bringing general awareness to your physical environment, the environment that you are a part of currently, without any sort of judgment, just recognizing what that environment feels like. Maybe what does it sound like or smell like? If your eyes are open, what do you see? Without any label, just pure observation, open awareness of that space. And drawing your awareness down into your own personal space, especially that of the body. Gently tuning into how you feel physically, how you feel cognitively, and how you feel emotionally or spiritually. Tapping into mind, body, spirit. And gently drawing the awareness down into the breath without changing the breath just yet, becoming the observer of where the breath is. It may be shallow and short. It may be deep and long. It may feel like it's in your chest or even in your shoulders, or perhaps in the posterior side of the body or your rib cage, wherever you feel it, without judgment, without reactivity, just gently noticing what that breath feels like. And we're going to practice 3 cycles of the triangle breathing. So before we start, as an example, we will inhale to a count of 3, pause for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 3. And we'll complete that 3 times. So go ahead and let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. And just allow your respiration to return to its natural cadence, holding that awareness with the breath, using that as your anchor as we rest here quietly. And if your mind begins to wander on your to-do list or something that you needed to accomplish yesterday or even tomorrow, gently recognize, bring the awareness back to the respiration cycle. And relaxing your awareness, widening your attention back into your space. And if you'd like to welcome some movement back into your body. We're going to leave you all with a little bit of homework. the next few days, we would like to ask you to practice this type of technique, the triangle breathing technique. And you can choose the count that's most comfortable for you. As Rita mentioned, today we did a count of 3. If you feel like 2 or 5 or 7 or even 1, whatever is most comfortable to you, we just ask that you practice that for the remainder of the week into the weekend. And ideally, we'll see you on Tuesday as we start to break down our next pillar of health. So thank you all for joining us this morning. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy your weekend.